After I'd recorded and edited and compressed and compiled the whole show, it suddenly struck me that I should interdict a little disclaimer. During the show, I rant on at length about some people that told me some stuff that turned out, as far as I could tell, to not be true. Well, maybe I just misunderstood what they told me, and maybe it was true. In which case I'd be a damn fool to be ranting on about it. So, if I got it wrong, if I just misunderstood, then my bad, I'm sorry. If I got it right, well, I stand by what I said in the first place. And now, on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now, from deep in the darkest forests of northern Minnesota, the show you've waited for. This is Grizzly's Growl. And I am honored to present our host, the man, the mystery, the legend. This is Grizzly.
This is Grizzly's Growls, episode 15, and this is Grizzly, out on the front porch again. Not quite sure why I'm recording a show, except it's Sunday and I'm supposed to. I don't know that it's necessarily been a bad week. It hasn't been a particularly good week. Work went better this week, but that's about it. I had a group of people come up to me and invite me to record at their game. I guess they told me they were from the local... we have a local, what's it called? Minor league team down up here. I forget what they're called. Anyway, after further research, they had told me that the game was the next day, and it turned out the game was the day before. So it might just have been that they were trying to make a fool of me, which to me seems kind of silly, because after all, it is so easy to make a fool of me. Why work that hard at it? But some people just are easily entertained, I guess. I like to think that this is the kind of show that demonstrates not just any idiot can record a podcast. It takes a special kind of idiot. Tried to do one of those political rants on my blog earlier, and it didn't go well. I forgot to mention that I had put a title on there, A Pound of Flesh, and I forgot to put the piece in and explain why I used that title. And I guess I'm just not a political sort of a guy anyway. I don't know. I'm just not good at ranting. You know, and besides, there's plenty of people out there to rant about political stuff. I get the impression overall that nobody really gives a rat's that I'm doing a blog. So why do I keep doing it? I feel like it. I feel like I'd have some presence out there in the big world. Doing the experiment today. I'm trying to car going by so I don't get quite so much car noise. So if it starts and stops or sounds like it starts and stops, you'll know why anyway. And I was thinking about using some music, see if I had something to write about from the music, and, well, not really, no. You know, other than the deliberate cruelty from total strangers, it's not a bad place to live. It's a pretty good little city. Not a little town, but they act like it sometimes. Got some of the same sort of territorial attitudes. I've lived in small towns. Lived up in Grand Portage for a while there. Was working up at the at the resort up there, back when it was the Lodge and not the Lodge and Casino. And that, you want to talk small town attitudes, let me tell you. Nice people. I suppose it's just that people live at close quarters and with the same people all the time. Some things that aren't all that important tend to seem awfully important to you, I guess. Gotta have some kind of a life, I suppose, and you gotta feel like there's something important going on. Even when there isn't anything in particular, of any particular importance going on, you gotta feel like there's something important about your life. I strongly suspect, though, that there really isn't anything particularly important about my life. I'm just some guy in some job. Not much of a job at that. You know, I bet people in fancy recording studios don't have to pause to wait for the cars to go by. But then again, the air isn't as fresh in your average recording studio anyway. They just passed a law in my state saying that you can't allow smoking in any place that might be considered somebody's workplace, even if it's a private club, even if everybody there is a smoker. If you had a private club for smokers and everybody there was a smoker, you still wouldn't be able to allow smoking, because somebody someday who did smoke might want to work there. If you sell tobacco in a place, if the place is only a tobacco selling place, you're not smoking there because, well, somebody might want to work there who doesn't smoke. Why? I don't know. And now I'm ranting a little bit. Maybe I should have done a rant on that. That would have been a good thing. I mean, I don't suppose I necessarily approve of smoking myself, but I figure it ought to be a personal choice. And sometimes, too, just a sec. One thing about that really bugs me is that they ban smoking in bars. You can't smoke in a bar. You can drink in a bar, but you can't smoke in a bar. It's like, okay, drinking is good for you, but smoking is bad. Right. Of course, I guess they smoke a lot more in Europe from what I've read. Then again, they got naked women on their money, too, so I suppose a lot of things are different in Europe than in this country. And I'm still bugged about that whole business of somebody trying to, like you say, why bother to try and fool me of all people? I'm not difficult to mislead. It's not like it's hard work or anything. People feel impressed with themselves because they can fool somebody like me. When essentially anybody can fool somebody like me, it's easy. It's like falling off a log. People do it all the time. So I don't understand why that would be such a good thing to devote your time and energy to. I think maybe people are more cruel now than they used to be. It seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, it seems that way to me. Now, of course, I encountered plenty of cruelty when I was younger, but it doesn't, as if people have just gotten cruel and mean-spirited and vicious and angry. And I know you see it in the politicians all the time. They tend to be a pretty mean bunch, most of them. Well, in our country anyway. I don't know about the rest of the world. Well, some of the rest of the world I do see on TV from time to time where they're getting in fist fights. So in the middle of the legislative session, they're having a big fist fight. So I suppose there's that. But and like I say, maybe I just was living in a fool's paradise. Maybe people were always this mean and vicious and angry all the time. I could blame television, of course. It seems like people on television are a lot meaner than they used to be. Comedy is all about cruelty now. Cruelty and cussing and meanness and viciousness and insulting people. It used to be the insult comic was the exception. And now it's the rule. If you don't insult people, you're not really funny. If you don't ridicule people, you're not funny. Personally, I just don't think that's funny at all anyway. But maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way. Maybe I figure that you just ought to be able to treat people decently, and that ought to be the normal way to behave. and be honest with people, and that ought to be the normal way to behave. Trying to fool people. Maybe people are just not as smart as they used to be, too, you know. Do you ever think about that? Maybe people are just stupid. Maybe that's it. I know in this country it seems like every year or so you get another study out saying that American children are doing worse in school, and our technology levels in this country, oddly enough, are lower than the rest of the world. We have less high-speed internet than the rest of the world, it seems like. In other countries you can get to some ridiculous speeds, and we got nothing, relatively speaking. I don't know, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Used to be the smartest country on the planet, at least we used to be able to think so. If nothing else, we used to be able to fool ourselves into thinking so. Now, not so much. And I think part of the cruelty, maybe it's part and parcel of the same thing, you know. People are so busy being cruel and mean and aggressive and not cooperating with each other that trying to get ahead of each other, and they're stepping on each other's heads, and rather than trying to be smarter and get more stuff done. So that's my rant for the week. But all in all, I think it's a good place to live. And that's all I have to say about that. Well, it really wasn't much, was it? I really didn't have much to say. But you have a good week, and we'll talk to you next time. Always good to hear from you. If you get a moment to drop me an email or jump on the website and leave a comment or whatever. Maybe leave a voice comment. You know, you can record yourself a little MP3 file or a WAV file or whatever and attach it to an email. Send it off to grizzly@grizzly.podzone.org, and I'll get it, and maybe I'll even do something with it. I'm going to close this out with a song I found on GarageBand, which I kind of like, from a group called Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R, featuring Michelle Dupuy. Song called The Good Place. Talk at you later.
It's the last push and the first cry. It's a long night, then a sunrise. It's a handshake for a good try when things don't go your way. It's those big hearts in the small towns. It's a parade and the sweet sound, a little gospel in the background. It's a life that you can make in a good place. It's that first love in a bike ride, a warm touch on a cool night when she's not sure if it feels right, but you see it in her face. It's that phone call from your best friend, say things only they can. Be there, you just say when, nothing separates in a good place. And I sit and watch these clouds roll by. I got love, so I guess I've got life. And My life's just a state of mind where nothing's gonna take me from my good place. Yeah, it's church bells and a big crowd, in public and out loud. We have faith it'll work out when that tide sweeps us away. It's 2 cars and a mailbox, a kid's laugh and a dog's bark, sweet view from a hilltop, and it's pretty while it stays in a good place. And I sit and watch these clouds roll by. I got love, so I guess I got life. And my life's just a state of mind where nothing's gonna take me from my good place. It's a long life in the past tense. It's a forgot where the time went. Lost dream, but we're content to meet him face to face. It's a heartbeat for the last time, a teardrop on the dark pine. Short walk when it's your time to the place the Lord has made in a good place. And I sit and watch these clouds roll by. I got love, so I guess I've got life. And my life's just a state of mind where nothing's gonna take me from my good place. Yeah, I'm in my